Hello guys, welcome to today's episode of Radio Jungermann. I'm your host, Esther Olaniran. Let's go. So, in the month of January, we saw 3 songs released. Frost, The Tale of Princess Adira and her Otherworldly Adventures, and Energy. So the first song I produced in the month of January was Frost. My thought process there was really to create something that reminds me of the winter and, you know...
What you doing?
Cold... I'm trying to take over your channel.
Oh, really?
Am I doing a good job? Leave a comment down below if you think I can take over this channel.
Okay, that was interesting. Okay, where were we? It sounded like she was just about to start talking about Frost, so I'll just take over where she left off, I guess. However, I feel like you can't really sit indoors and talk about Frost, so yeah, let's go. Let's look at how this song came about. I was visiting my parents on the other side of the country for Christmas and New Year's, and due to a series of rather unfortunate events, I didn't have my hard drive containing all my samples for my sample libraries, meaning despite having the instruments themselves and the licenses on my other computer, couldn't use them without the samples. But what I could use was my previous orchestra library, as well as all the synthesizers, because those don't use samples the same way that other instruments do. So I decided to make a piano track and surround it with a whole lot of digital synthesizers, basically. It's so cold out here that ice is forming in my nose. Anyway, the soundtrack contains quite a range of emotions. As the artwork shows, it does contain some despair, but also a whole lot of hope. I'd say that overall it's a hopeful soundtrack, so these underlying senses of grief are still coming to a conclusion in the soundtrack. Anywho, by using the piano and the choirs towards the end, I feel I managed to kind of convey this tune in a way that doesn't distract from anything else that I do, and it ties in nicely with the rest of my music, despite not using any of the same instruments as far as VSTs and virtual instruments goes. But let's go back inside now. It's getting cold, and I've got some more songs to talk to you about. See you indoors. So, now that we're back inside, I suggest we talk about the next tune that I released, namely The Tale of Princess Adira and her The Tale of Princess Adira and her Otherworldly Adventures. For once, I was inspired by music by other people. It doesn't happen too often that I make an actual song based upon someone else's work, but the music in the video games Ori and the Blind Forest and Trine is just so spectacular that I've been wanting to do something similar for a long while now. Of course, I didn't use any actual melodies from any of those soundtracks, but the general vibe is definitely there to be found. The melody isn't too complicated, and neither is the music in the background, but I really wanted to focus on finding the right melody to convey what I wanted to. It's funny that I did write the tail, the very end of the chorus, first, and then after that I sat down to figure, well, what should come before this? I'm talking about this part. As you might know, it's one of my shorter songs to date. It's just short of 2 minutes, but I didn't really want it to be any longer than that, because yeah, I feel like this song should be rather simple, rather short, and with the possibility of wanting to replay it. When it comes to the structure of the tune, it's definitely the most simple piece of music that I've ever written. It's a chorus, it repeats, I raise the key, it repeats, and then it's the end of the song. I add some stuff for each and every repeat, and then it's the end of it. Moving swiftly along to the third song that I release in the month of January. This one is called Energy, and it's a science fiction / action song inspired by African music from various places. There are some East and South African voices and chants. There are quite a lot of Western African instruments, and then of course the synthesizers from this space dimension. I have made some very percussive tracks before, but this one is right up there with the likes of Mechanica. It shouldn't be forgotten that rhythm is just as important as pitch. One of the instruments that I'm using here is called kalimba or go-go or sansa or mbira, and it's sort of a thumb piano shown here. And for this song it's really sped up because I believe it would be impossible to perform this, but let's just take a listen to it in isolation. Even though I always prioritize rhythm fairly highly, this is one of the rare occasions where I have let the rhythm and the percussions lead the way and the melodies simply have a supportive role in the making of the track. Let's have a quick listen to Energy. Favorite moment is here. We've got some Junger points to declare. The very first Junger points to ever be awarded to anyone in the history of the Earth were 100 and went to, I'm not going to fall in the trap of saying Bardet Amélie, because I believe your name is Amélie Bardet. And you got 100 Junger points. Very well done. Every episode of Radio Jungermann is going to be the most high scoring opportunity to earn some points, and my normal videos will also give quite some points. Amélie, you earned 100 points right off the bat. The next 50 Junger points were to be handed out to whoever could identify a reoccurring piece of art. It was in the Frost video, and I was using an artwork that had been featured in one of my earlier songs. The first one to do so was Olivia Grubbström. Well done, you got 50 points there. We should all keep a close eye on her in the near future, because I happen to know that she's working on something very special. She is doing a cover and a music video of one of my songs. I've seen a snippet of it and I'm loving it. Remember that if you ever do anything like that, you will automatically earn a place on the very front of my channel in the playlist My Music in Your Videos. Do that and you will get some extra exposure, which is always a good thing. For Princess Adira, I split the 50 points into two different questions worth 25 points each. The first one was to identify a deer in any of my previous artworks, and Sebastian Sagin, I can't really pronounce your name, please help me out. You earned 25 points by doing so in the Celestine artwork. Well done! Another 25 points were to be given to whoever could identify a trombone in the audio, which is not maybe as easy as one could think, because it's definitely way in the background this time. And who did that? Well, Amélie, you did it again. Another 25 points coming your way. So now let's have a look at the very first edition of the Junger Points leaderboard. As you can see, we got Amélie in the lead on 125 points. And then we've got Olivia on 50 points, and then Sebastian on 25. But here's your opportunity to earn another 100 points straight away. One of the tracks that I'm most pleased with from 2017 is New York 1927. It's a film noir musical story, and it's got so many details, both in the audio, the music, and the artworks. I spent so much time making it, and my question for 100 Younger points is, who hired Butcher Benson to pull off the deeds that he did? 100 points will be coming the way of whoever gets that right first. There will be prizes involved for the winner of the Younger Points leaderboard, so do your best now. This week's Q&A will consist of this question, and the answer is very simple. I love getting comments. It gives me the opportunity of evolving and getting better at what I'm doing here, so I'm totally loving it, and the whole purpose of this show is to interact more with you and show my face every once in a while and talk to you directly. Now for the poll, and this is one true dilemma. I will challenge your brains unlike anything you have ever encountered before. Would you rather be stuck on a desert island with a guitar, 10 kilograms of jelly beans, me, or Engelbert Humperdinck? Cast your vote now. Now all that remains of this episode is for me to talk about one of my older songs as decided by you. On 2 votes, Shadows. It's been a while since I wrote this song. I lived in London at the time. Wow, I missed those days. I miss London so much. Hopefully I'm coming back sometime soon. This is some fantasy music. It's based around the music box. And have I ever done that before? Yes, on multiple occasions. Possibly I was feeling that, well, Seventh Son did rather well for me, so I might try to replicate the success of that by making something in the same style. It shares some key points with Seventh Son, that it starts out with just the music box, and then gradually other instruments are introduced into the mix, and it grows and the full string section joins in, and all of these things that I love doing so much. This is yet another good example of when the rhythm plays an important role in the track. La 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 da da dee 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 la 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 is a rather nice rhythm in the melody. But let's not analyze it too much, because it's definitely one of those songs where I just don't think that much. I sit down and it starts writing itself, in all honesty. So let's have a listen to Shadows as we end episode 3 of the radio show. I'll see you around.